This isn't about banning drugs, rewriting approval rules, or adding red tape. It's something far more disruptive. For the first time ever, the FDA will start publicly exposing why drugs get rejected. No press release, bin, no shareholder-friendly messaging. Just raw, unfiltered rejection letters. And that shift in visibility could change biotech investing, drug development, and even healthcare accountability overnight. Because for decades, when the FDA denied approval for a drug, the reasoning stayed behind closed doors. Companies were free to say as little or as misleading as they wanted. In many cases, they said nothing at all. According to the FDA's own study, fewer than 1 in 5 rejection letters were ever publicly acknowledged by companies. And when they were, over 80% omitted key issues around safety, efficacy, or trial design. That opacity created a massive information gap, one where investors, doctors, and even rival drug makers were forced to guess what went wrong. And it allowed some companies to protect stock prices, delay accountability, and even mislead the market. Now that's ending. Under a new transparency initiative led by Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the FDA has already published over 200 previously secret rejection letters, known as complete response letters, dating back to 2020. Each one details why a drug was denied. Was it trial design, efficacy failure, manufacturing issues, safety risks? The answers are now public, searchable, and no longer under the sole control of the company. And this changes everything. For investors, it means less guesswork and more volatility. Stocks that used to drop 10% on vague rejections may now crater 50% or more once the real reasons are known. For drug developers, it means fewer second chances. You can't sweep trial failures under the rug and relaunch 6 months later with a new narrative. For analysts and regulators, it's a treasure trove, a searchable database of past mistakes that can help guide better drug design and earlier FDA engagement. And even some biotech firms support the move. Why? Because not all rejections are catastrophic. Some drugs fail over small, fixable details, and now that nuance can be seen, not buried under corporate silence. Of course, the policy isn't without friction. Companies are already pushing back, warning that disclosure could violate confidentiality or expose trade secrets. But the FDA says the letters are being carefully redacted, removing proprietary content while preserving the clinical and regulatory rationale. Former FDA Chief Scott Gottlieb tried to push this transparency reform during Trump's first term, but backed off, calling the redaction process too resource-intensive. Under McCreary and Kennedy, the FDA is going all in. This isn't about creating more regulation. It's about creating a clearer playing field, where everyone, from shareholders to scientists, can see exactly what happened and why. And in a market where one FDA decision can make or break a billion-dollar company, that visibility is game-changing. So don't let the headlines fool you. This is not a boring bureaucracy move. It's one of the most consequential FDA reforms in years. And it might just reshape how drugs are developed, priced, and invested in for good. At Global Notes by JP, we cover the global macro stories that matter and the underreported shifts that could reshape our world. No hype, no bias, just sharp, independent analysis of the forces shaping markets, policy, and power. If that's the kind of clarity you're looking for, subscribe and stay with us. There's a lot more to uncover.